What's up? What's happening? What's going on? I am back here to finish off what I was talking about in the beginning earlier, a couple of hours ago. The ladies are gone now, and so now we back getting to it. I do want to finish up talking about what I was saying about hi-firush. Basically, pretty much, listen. It's unfortunate that the game did not sell well, as great as hi-firush was and is still. But it didn't sell. And so when I seen people that was trying to make fun of the fact that it was presented on Game Pass, and then they try to use this narrative to try to say that Game Pass is the problem, that's when, the reality of it is that it's an everybody problem, because they solicited the game out everywhere. They pushed it out everywhere, and it didn't sell. And that sucks. And I hate the fact that Microsoft didn't give it another opportunity for the game to maybe catch a little fire with a second title. But I mean, again, these games cost a lot of money. That kind of was like the red line for Microsoft, and so now Tango Games is. I'm glad that they're back. They're still employed, and they're going to be working on this project. But when you got Krafton even coming out and saying, "Look, they don't even look to see that this game is going to make money," that's a problem. And listen, that's just the reality of it. I hate it. And listen, but the way gaming is right now, these people ain't playing any games, so it's a crazy situation. So anyway, I didn't get to. I saw the end of the poll that I put about how many people are going to get the PlayStation Pro, and it was 68% at the time saying that they weren't going to get it, but they came through, and I was not expecting them to come. And they usually let me know that they're going to come to do their work around in the house and stuff. And so I didn't get the message till I was like halfway on doing the podcast, so I didn't even pay attention to it. And then I looked and I heard the doorbell, and then I looked and I seen them that they were standing outside. I was like, oh hell! So I wanted them to get their thing. What's going on, Big Bad Mo? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? And that's the thing. Like I hate it. But the reality of it is, it's not worth it to put that much money in if this game is not going to sell. And now I understand why Xbox did what they did. Do I like it? No, absolutely not. I feel that that's one of the reasons why I get so frustrated with today's gaming, because if a game doesn't do well, it doesn't necessarily mean that that game is a failure. It just means that game just didn't catch the traction. Case in point. And this was what was kind of crazy to me, because I want to be talking about some more remasters. Because once I was just talking about that they were bringing another Horizon Zero Dawn game remaster or whatever, then we come to find out that they're going to be most likely bringing Days Gone. And listen, Days Gone is a good game. It's a solid game. It was broken, like no joke. It took a year for the game to actually get properly patched up. But it's a really good game. The game runs fantastic on PC. But again, another remaster from a PlayStation 4 game, as though the majority of the PlayStation fan base that they have. See, this would be different if, let's just say that the PlayStation 5 is taken off like the PlayStation 4, 2 times fold. Like that means if they're already at like 90 million, 100 million sold right now, right? Then that means that they're going to surpass the 114, 117 million, or let's just round it out and say 120 million PlayStation 4s out there. Then that it seems pretty likely that they're going to go over that 120 million sold if they were like 100 million at this point. They're not. They're at 61 million. They're behind, way behind, actually. I mean, we're pretty much, I would say at the max 2 years away from 2-3 years away from the consoles, from us getting new consoles. So I think that there's like speculation that the PlayStation 6 will come out in 2028. So we're looking at about another 4 years maybe, I guess. I mean, then that's a longer generation than what it appeared to be. But still, I just, you know what I'm saying, could it catch a PlayStation 4? Maybe, but it's nowhere near that. But anyway, back to my point. It's crazy to me to think that PlayStation is bringing these remasters from the PlayStation 4 when there's so many treasure trolls from games. Like I've said before, I've always said like Mark of the Cree would be a fantastic game to bring out at this point in time. It's new, it's fresh. It would be new and fresh. I mean, you got it's a hack and slash kind of RPG like type of game. Really cool game. Dark Cloud. I think that would be a good game to try to bring back. Again, the Twisted Metal project, I believe it got canceled. So okay. So I know a lot of people bring up Siphon Filter. That part I don't. Maybe it's according how to get. But I would bring back Resistance. I think Resistance would do very, very well, especially right now at this point, since Gears is doing this reboot, or they're bringing out a prequel in Gears, and Gears is kind of like, and Resistance has that kind of same vibe in a sense. I think that would be a good counteract, even though I know that there's a lot of people that's speculating that Gears would come to PlayStation. I don't know. That's something that I'll be talking about here. Not about Gears, but just about some more information about what Xbox is doing. And the writing seems to be on the wall with the ambassador situation. Ugh, good grief. But anyway, I'll talk about that here a little bit later. But I just think that the situation with hi-firush not getting a second, it's going to get a second opportunity, but for Xbox not giving it a second opportunity, I thought it was a miss, but I do understand it. I'm not mad at the situation overall after you see how bad that the game sold. But it had nothing to do with Game Pass, because of the fact that Game Pass was the reason why the game had eyes on it in the first place. It was a drop, and the game wasn't expensive, and the game was well worth the price of admission. But again, it was poorly advertised. There was no question about that. But I don't know if even Xbox felt that they had a winner on their hands. They definitely did, but it didn't matter. It'd been on PlayStation. It's on PlayStation, Nintendo, PC, and it still didn't do enough numbers. And when you got Krafton telling you that hi-firush is not going to do its thing, then that's a big problem. Also, going back to what I was kind of talking about on the situation of, like, when we're looking at these remasters, I'm looking at a lot of people that keeps talking about Bloodborne. And so I just ran across this just basically just a few seconds ago. I mean, just a few minutes ago before I started. And I was, because I was just thinking, like, you know what? I know that a lot of people are anticipating Bloodborne, but I do recall that Bloodborne, it didn't sell that well. It sold well for a new title of, like that. But I don't know how many. That game only sold, it didn't even sell over 3 million copies. We're talking about a console that had over 117 million consoles sold. We see so many people that's online that talk so much about Bloodborne, and Bloodborne is a great game. I own it. It's a great game, right? But you guys know I'm kind of on and off about Souls games. So, but Bloodborne is not a bad game whatsoever. I liked it, and I was like, okay, I'll go back to it, and I never did. But I mean, it's on that same wavelength of like with Lies of P, which I like Lies of P. But again, if I'm playing something else that catches my attention more often, that's why I say Elden Ring for me is just special. Like, I hate Dark Souls, Dark Souls. I hate Dark Souls, but I love Elden Ring. I like Sekiro, but I'm just on and off with those type of games. But Bloodborne's a really good quality game. The fact of it is, it only sold 2.7 million. Let's just round it off and say 3 million. And that game has been out since 2015. And I think that from what I read, no one has bought that game since 2017. Bro, maybe that's one reason why they haven't decided to bring that game back, because they just don't see that there's maybe a path for it. I think because of the strong emergence of Souls games, I think that there would be a bump. I think that their game would do well, would sell well because there's so many people that ask for it. But then again, Sony's looking at this as like, look, man, I want to make this money. We don't want to sit here and bring something, invest in something, and we don't get a good positive return. So that could be one of the reasons why Bloodborne is not in that mix or not the equation. I would think that it would benefit to do it. I wouldn't know how much that would cost, or especially what FromSoft would want. But I mean, for the PlayStation fans that really want it, you should do it. But I mean, I don't think anybody's asking for Zero Dawn and Days Gone again when you already get those enhancements on your PlayStation 5, and I'm sure that you'll get a boost on your PlayStation Pro if you decide to get a PlayStation Pro. I just don't know. I don't know. I just, what I'm saying? Like, right, Big Mamo, I had a great time with, had a great time with it. I just don't, I don't know, man. What's going on with you, Stanley, in the chat? What's going on? Let's see what's Stanley in there and Big Bang Mo, whatever. But I don't understand it. It's wild to me. I don't know, man. This has been a baffling generation for me for watching PlayStation look like this and knowing how PlayStation is rocked out with the community and with the gamers for all these years. And you're coming off on your 30th anniversary, and this is what you offer. I don't know, man. Like, I mean, I could see bring Warhawk back. There's so many PlayStation games that they could remaster, remake. I don't know, man. It's baffling as hell to me. It blows my mind. So anyway, I know that there's supposed to be a state of play coming. Grubbs and them saying that it's going to be underwhelming, and I'm thinking maybe because of these, they're going to talk about some more remasters. There's the Until Dawn, which is a really good game, solid game. Love that game myself personally. That's available on PC. I think that comes out next week, maybe, or I think it does come out next week. So yeah, if anybody hasn't had a chance to play that, I would recommend to get that. But listen, like, if you want to get to play the best version of Days Gone, man, I mean, I would just, if you got a gaming PC, get the PC version. It plays fantastic. I don't know, but I mean, if PlayStation is going to bring these remakes and charge, like I was saying earlier today, $50 or more. I mean, hell, $40 or more is too much in my opinion for these older games. But if you're charging that much money, I seen somebody before I had to cut off saying, I think it was Richilli saying $70. Man, listen, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I really don't know. You're right. I don't think PlayStation do want to make it. I really don't. I think PlayStation is comfortable with what they're doing, and they want to play it safe until because I think where all their games are going to start coming is in the last couple of years of the generation for them. I think they're going to do just like what they did with the PlayStation 4, and I think they're going to coast for these. If it's 2028 for the PlayStation 6, then I think they're going to coast for these next 2 years, and then I think the last 2 years they're really going to go crazy, and then they can set themselves up for the PlayStation 6 to bring even more remasters and set that up. So or definitive editions and things like that. I don't know. It's the biggest hustle I've ever seen. And I just don't know how PlayStation fans tolerate it. I really don't. I mean, if Xbox is already having enough issues in their corner already, but if Xbox was doing anything like this, I mean, nah, man. Even I would have to question what the hell Xbox. Where is the direction of Xbox? Just don't want to do this anymore. If that's the case, I mean, as a PlayStation fan, I mean, I do like PlayStation. I don't despise it. It's no longer my first choice of playing. My first choice to go play their games or the console anymore. But I still am a fan of PlayStation. I just don't. I just look at this and it's just a sad moment for me. I mean, PlayStation has been solid for and I never really disliked the PlayStation 3 generation. I thought a lot of people gave the PlayStation 3 generation a lot of hell for no reason. I mean, I can say no reason. Don't let me say that. I'm wrong on that. I mean, I understand the price point, and then games coming out broken, the lack of certain games, et cetera, et cetera. But I always thought that the PlayStation 3 was a solid console. It wasn't the best generation for PlayStation, but I never looked at it as god awful. I look at PlayStation 5's generation as god awful, absolutely tragic by far. This is horrid. This generation to me makes PlayStation 3 looks like the PlayStation 1 generation, damn near, to me. That's how bad I think the PlayStation 5 generation is. I know that there'll be some people that will dispute that, but I don't know how you can. Name me, I would like to see people put a list of the PlayStation 3 games that came out and put a list of the PlayStation 5 games that came out within the same time frame. And the PlayStation 3 line up with dog walk what PlayStation 5 is offered to their gamers. Yeah, I stand on that. I stand on that 100%. Yeah, Big Mamo said $70 for the 5 and $80 for the 5 Pro. That'd be nuts. That'd be nuts, man. He says, and they are going to eat it up, bruh. That obviously it's working because they're continuously doing it. So obviously they're selling enough to get people to keep participating. I just don't see it. I see Iron Mike 404 Gaming, what's up? He said, only way I get a Pro is if it's the PlayStation 1 version. Now, listen, I might as well get into that right now because that's what was supposed to be what I was trying to get into earlier today. And listen, it looks really dope, but there was some things that was questionable right from the get because they didn't offer a price. They didn't offer a price whatsoever. That thing is going to be 900 plus. That thing is going to be 900 plus. It's easily for everything that they're offering, and then for the limited supply, that thing is probably 950 plus easy. Easily. I'm going to just try to be diplomatic and say 900, but that thing is probably going to be a damn G. It's probably going to be a grand right off the bat. Ain't no way. No, and I mean, look, it's clean. It's a nice looking console. You know what I'm saying, with everything included and all that, it looks really, really slick. But no. Ain't no way. So again, and then when you also have people out here that is made these crazy ass assumptions to compare the PlayStation Pro to the 4070 NVIDIA card I can't even tell you how asinine that is. I don't, if you were saying something like maybe in the 30 the mid 30 series cards, or the and I don't know, I'm not too familiar with the NVIDIA, with the AMD cards that's in the same wavelength with the 30 series cards. Then I wouldn't have anything to say about that. I'm like, okay, that sounds cool. But I don't even think that the PlayStation Pro is even on par with the 3080. To even say and compare. But if you remember, same thing with the PlayStation Pro. These guys sit there and came out and lied their ass off and was saying how this thing was going to be pumping out 8K games, and it was comparable to whatever card that was the hotness back then. Well, I think it maybe was the 20 series cards at the time or whatever. But they did the same thing with the PlayStation 4 Pro. If you don't remember, they did this. They laid this out and tried to make this out to seem like, well, this card was going to be the PlayStation 4 Pro was 8K gaming, and it was going to perform just as good as the new NVIDIA and AMD cards that was coming out, the low ends, of course, but still on that level. And no, no, absolute, bro. I don't have to say anything to you. I'm just gonna play this little clip right here, and I'm gonna let y'all hear it yourself. I mean, a lot of people like to listen to Digital Foundry and stuff like that, but I'm gonna let this little clip cook right here. So let's go ahead and let's listen to it.
If you want things like path tracing, or you want like 60 FPS no matter what, or 120 FPS no matter what, that is not what a console is. That's when you start looking towards PC. And then honestly, stuff like an RTX 4070 is actually like a good notch higher than the PS5 Pro, in my humble opinion, just because I feel like, yeah, like Rich just said, like it's going to be better than that 45% that Mark Cerny quoted. But it's also like, if you do turn on ray tracing, then it gets a lot better. I think we saw that in Alan Wake 2 when I compared the difference between an RTX 3080, which was better in rasterized, but the RTX 4070 had like 50% higher frame rate with path tracing stuff on. It was like nuts.
Yeah.
It was way better.
Listen, man, just don't make any sense. And I mean, and let's not go to the one, I forget the PC guy's name. He cooked the hell out of anybody that made the assumption. He cooked the hell out of the PlayStation Pro. He was calling it pretty much like high price garbage. I'm not going to go that far, you know what I mean? Because listen, for enthusiasts that like stuff like that, I have no problem with that. I'm one of those people. But when you come out and give out this type of misinformation, telling people that this thing is comparable with the 40 series cards, or even the high-end AMD cards, that is ridiculous. Listen, if you want to talk about the AI feature, that is a really slick feature, no doubt about it. If you want to say that it's almost even comparable with the AMD's AI learning technology with their high-end cards, I can even allow you to go that far, but you can't do that with NVIDIA's cards. With their AI technology, the path tracing, all that, just like what the guy from Digital Foundry just told you guys, it's nuts. And listen, all digital, it's fine to get one. You know what I'm saying? Listen, like I said, for anybody that wants to get a PlayStation Pro, by all means, do it. It's your money. It's your money. I'm not here to tell you that you shouldn't get it. I'm just telling you that don't come up here having these expectations, thinking that that PlayStation 4 Pro is going to be on the same wavelength as a high AMD or the low end, high end AMD cards, or the low end of the AMD 40 series cards. I'm sorry, the video cards. It's not. Bro, it still has old hardware. Like, come on, man, what are we talking about? And it's not even that much more powerful than the Series X. So if you're going to say that it's comparable there, and let's not forget that the Series X and the Series S has ML. They have their own type of, it's machine learning. I don't know if you want to say that's AI or anything like that, but they have their own machine learning technology that was implemented. So what PlayStation is adding on to their PlayStation Pro, it's a little bit different, of course, but it's still. And so when I was reading something about, I can't remember who was the person that wrote it, but saying that their AI technology is already they're jumping the gun. Well, not jumping the gun, but they're already ahead of Xbox. And Xbox has been doing the machine learning situation, which I think that's kind of their process of their AI stuff. It kind of blending in with the DirectX 12. Listen, I'm not going to act like I know everything about what that all consists of. But what I do know is that I ain't worried about PlayStation having an edge on Xbox when it comes to AI technology coming in with the new consoles. And also for what Xbox is doing, what tripped me out when Xbox must have felt comfortable of what PlayStation was going to be presenting when they said that they weren't going to do a gen mid refresh, which it was the smart thing to do, especially with these consoles not dropping down in price, which is absolutely ridiculous to me, for one. But it's still smart for Xbox not to do a mid refresh, because then how you looking at this is that Xbox would still have to try to match in price, and it wouldn't sell. Hell, the PlayStation Pro is not going to sell like that. The PlayStation 5 Pro is not going to sell like that. We all know that. We all know that. Now, the PlayStation can come out and they say that those console, the console collector's the 30th anniversary collection will sell out. Well, it's not that many of them. So, of course, it's going to sell out. But I don't even know if this thing is going to sell as many units as the PlayStation 4 Pro did. I think it sold around what, 3 to 4 million, something like 3. I'll say 3 to 5. I don't think that they'll sell that many overall. The price is steep, man. Listen, like I said, for the enthusiast that wants to get it and get better quality in their games, hey, do what you do. It's just that, do what you do. But I don't know. Well, what's going to say? Hip Hop Gamer says GTA 6 will run 60 and 4K upscale in the Pro. But listen to what you said, 60 upscale. So what is the real native resolution without the upscale? See, that's what that PlayStation upscaler that they have, which is that AI thing that they have. It's PSSSS, whatever the hell it's called. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Remember, let's go back now. When people were over here talking about like the upscalers and real and native 4K and native 1080p and native all that last generation, all that's out the window. See, this is the thing about where console gamers don't need to be in here talking about computer games. Once that all jumped into the console space, everything is messy and doesn't make any sense, because once that whole resolution gate garbage came out during the beginning of 2013, that was it. When you start seeing PlayStation dudes start talking about blades of grass on Battlefield compared to what Xbox was doing, and then all this and all that, and then you got people that didn't even have a 4K television at the time. They only had 1080p televisions. Hell, there was people at that time that had 720p televisions and projectors, trying to talk about high-end resolution as though they had rigs. And then that's when the whole garbage came about, where there was some content creators that were saying that they had these high-end PCs that could play any and everything, but they just want to be console gamers and anyway. And if you got like a $5,000 to $10,000 PC that, and listen, I ate that shit up too. I believed it. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I understand it, because even though for me that now has a true high-end PC, I still play my console. But I find myself more and more, especially with single player games, not so much for sports games, fighting games, stuff like that. I'm on my console, and racers, I'm on my console more for those. But when it comes to those story games, I'm on my rig, and I'm usually through my Xbox app, playing my games through my Xbox. But still, for those story player games, I'm like, man, my X ain't doing what my 4080 is doing. You know what I'm saying? It's just the reality of it. So if I want to see that and get those, and I mean, I don't care about the frames aspect of it. I want to have my shit turned all the way up, having a good time with it. Want to see the best of the best. That's just me. I'm not a frames per second type of person when it comes to single player games. I don't care about it like that. But ray tracing, everything, all maxed out, I want to see how that thing looks and having a good time doing it. So that to me damaged a lot of how we project games, because the console guys and ladies, we all we got into the space, and I was trying to explain, like, look, man, we'll never have a console that's going to be comparable to what these new PCs do. We're just never going to do that. By the time that the new generation of consoles come out, which are going to be fantastic, no doubt about it, there's still not going to be, there's going to be the 50 series coming from NVIDIA, and then whatever that AMD is going to drop, Intel's going to drop their cards. Like I'm just saying, if your graphics hoard to that degree or a frames per second hoard to that degree, then the only place that you need to be is PC. That's just the reality of it. And that's, to me, is that when these PC guys started coming in here and start jumping into the console lane, and then talking about what this and that and digital games are the devil and subscriptions are the devil. And when you're listening and you're seeing that these people are PC gamers that already gave up hard copy games many, many, many moons ago, I knew the game was cooked. Because these guys is over here telling you what you shouldn't like, but they've already given up the ghost a long time ago for hard copy games. If you're a Steam player, tell me what games that you can get hard copy. Very few. Very few. Very few. Very few. And that's, to me, it's like, I look at this and I'm like, see, and when I'm seeing that these console content creators get out here and start talking and yapping all these damn numbers and teraflops, pterodactyls, and that shit don't matter, man. When I play this game, does this game play good? Does it look good on my TV? Am I having a good time? Is it working properly? That's what matters. Not if this thing, oh my God, it's not hitting 60 frames. It's not hitting 60 frames per second solid. Man, it doesn't have the technology to do it like that. It's got old technology. So again, it's not going to be anywhere comparable to that. So when you have people that make these stupid ass assumptions that the PlayStation 5 Pro is on par with the 4070, it is total garbage. And you just heard it from when I just played it from Digital Foundry. It's garbage. It dog walks. It's not comparable. It's not close. It dog walks. The 4070 dog walks. Hell, I can guarantee you that the 3080 will dog walk. And AMD's level of whatever a 3080 is, not even got to say a 3080 Ti, but a 3080 itself. Hell, I've even heard people that tell me, and I don't know this, that a 3060 could do some damage better than what the PlayStation Pro is. And now that part, I don't know, but I know for sure about what I know for people who has a 3080. It's like, man, what? If you can't sit there and play Grand Theft Auto, and I know that people won't get the chance to play, that PC people won't get the chance to play Grand Theft Auto 6 until the year following. But if you can't hit 60 solid frames, I mean straight frames where it doesn't dip, maybe have a few minor dips here or there, then nah, bruh. Because you can get that on a PC. Guarantee you that the people could get it on a PC. And with the upscaler, with the Pro, we're talking about what? 860p? You're not even getting 1080p. 860? Man, I just, I don't know. Stop believing hype. If you want to get it, enjoy it. It's gonna be, like I said, I don't even think it's got that much power over the PlayStation, over the Xbox Series X. And I said that when last year even. I'm like, PlayStation would cannibalize themselves if they go out here and make this console, make this Pro, and then charge a high price, and this thing is way more powerful than the Series X. They will cannibalize themselves because people are not going to come and jump. And I mean, even 2 years later, to go jump and get a PlayStation 6 after they paid a bunch of money for the PlayStation 5 Pro. Won't do it. And again, this $700 price tag, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. What up, Bunty? No. Ain't no way. Ain't no damn way. $700 is a lot of money, Jack. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, we're talking about car payments now. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about solid car payments. And you telling me that this console is comparable to make for worth $700. I mean, for some people, yeah, cool. But if it's not listen, if somebody says, I want to get that because I'm a PlayStation fan and I always buy PlayStation stuff, I'm cool with that. Knowing that this thing is going to be obsolete in 2 years, 3 years. 2-3 years. You know, I mean, if 2028, so we'll say 4 years. It'll be obsolete in 4 years. That's cool, right? But if you're still having games at 30 frames per second, which this is what all these people are trying to talk about, and which I've always said and alluded to with others, but I've always said this. You're never going, it doesn't matter how much power those consoles will have, you will still always have games at 30 frames per second. Even if you have, some people can make those excuses. Well, I get 2 different modes. You can still get the two different modes. I mean, it's just the case with the Final Fantasy games. You had a fidelity mode and you had a performance mode, and the performance mode played so horribly that you had to play in the fidelity mode. You still had to play in the 30 frames per second mode. That's the reality. That's the truth of it. You're still going to have to do that on the PlayStation Pro. You're still going to have to do that on the PlayStation 6, on the series, the Xbox, whatever that the new Xbox is going to be. You're still going to do that. Still going to do that. So that's what I said. Like, if you really care that much about frames per second, especially with story games, come on, man. No, there's no other way. Like, I mean, you see me playing, you see my gameplay from Wukong. I had all max settings. I was hitting anywhere from 80 to 110. 80 from 110. It was according to what level I was on or whatever. And listen, that's great and everything. But if I really wanted to push I could turn it down to 1080p or 1440p. Nah, son. I want to see it at his max. It's such a beautiful game. Yo, I want to see it at his peak. Now, listen, if I was only getting 40 frames per second and I was getting better visuals, I'm cool with that too. I don't care. Like, I'm playing a single player game. Now, again, it's a hack and slash type of quick kind of game. So, so it would, I guess, maybe matter in some instance. But anyway, I've seen people that's beating it on PlayStation 5 at 30 frames per second, listen, and just enjoyed it just as much. I think that there's too many people put too much cadence behind PC terminology when it comes to consoles. That's just my honest opinion on it. I think we do too much of that. I think a lot of people a lot of console gamers have to pull it back and just say, look, man, I'm enjoying this console for what I'm getting. I want more, of course. But if it's giving you better performance than you've ever had, if you're playing a game and it plays as smooth as it's ever played compared to what you played before, then you're winning. What's more important is that the devs make sure that this game is running properly. That's one of the reasons why I'm saying, like, when people say, well, I can play 60 frames per second. You're not playing no true 60 frames per second on no Final Fantasy 16, Jack. Why would you lie to us? You're not doing that on no damn Rebirth. Why are you lying to us? I know it. Listen, I see the stuff not only from, because I don't really watch that much Digital Foundry, but I watch other people's stuff. And when they showing them dips and drops, I'm like, man, your character's over here Cloud over here doing the hammer dance. That shit ain't popping. Come on now, stop it. So, I mean, look, we just I just think that you gotta decide if you care about that type of stuff. PC's the only way to go. You know what I'm saying? Chris Coleman said 860 native internal is irrelevant if the upscale results are just under native 4K. The beauty, I said, what he say? He said the beauty behind the AI upscaling and why DLSS was a game changer for PC. Well, again, yeah, but it's still fake frames. It's the fake frames, fake resolution. And that's what something that and remember, There was PlayStation fans that used that terminology last generation, that native was more important than fake frames. Yes, what NVIDIA has done is incredible. Playing Cyberpunk at 160 frames per second and you got 4K with all the trimmings? Lord have mercy. Yes, it's great. But you try to play that bad boy native all max settings on that 4080. Nah, son. No, let me go ahead. This is why I bought what I bought. That's why I installed it and everything else. Let me turn that dial. Let me get that upscale. I don't care about that shit like that. I'm cool with it. As long I want the game. Listen, I don't want to play 15 frames per second. I don't want to play 27 frames per second. You know what I'm saying? I want, 30 and up, cool. But I ain't trying to play less than that. But again, some people are different. Like there's a lot of people that plays 1440p and they want to get as many frames per second. I'm not a person that wants to get 240 frames per second. That just don't make any sense to me. That gets too, my old ass fingers can't do all that. I'm cool with that. No, let me get anywhere from 30 from console, smooth 30, on up to 60, 120 is according to what you know what I'm saying, however your TV is, and I'm straight. On PC, what I expect, 60 frames and higher on everything. 60 frames and higher. And I cap it, and I usually cap it off. If I can get it, because there's plenty of games I've seen that I got. I mean, hell, there was one game that I played. It was an older game that I had like 400 frames, and I'm like, yo, that, and it was just, no, that was sickening. That made me almost like, ugh. So I capped it at 120. Like, that's it. I don't need no more than that, me personally. So, I mean, as long as it feels smooth enough, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, I guess maybe since my experience of me being a console gamer, will always be a console gamer as long as there's still consoles around. But now investing more into what the PC is, and I'm a hybrid type of guy now. Like I know where my level is, and I know what games I like to play on PC. I know what games I like to play on my console, and that's fine with me. But I just don't feel that a PlayStation Pro, or if they did a a mid refresh of a Series X for that price is worth it. Not for me anyway. Not when I'm already have a high-end PC that dog walks anything that what PlayStation Pro is doing. When I play God of War here after when I get done with doing the stream, I'm gonna be playing the true definitive edition. I'm gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Like the PlayStation Pro could never do what this 4080 is gonna do with God of War. So Ragnarok. So it's just not. So I'm not worried about it. And so but I can't wait to see what it looks like, how it feels and all that stuff. But that's the reason why I made this decision to kind of go and just say, look, I'm going to go ahead and finally build me a true high-end PC and see what it's like. And it's cool. I mean, our PC is still not the greatest and best thing since sliced bread. I think the simplicity of consoles is still a great advantage over PC, in my opinion. But when it comes to everything else that PC provides, when it comes to power, frames, the ability to play all different types of games that you can't even get the chance to play on consoles, yeah, PC has a strong advantage. I prefer Xbox's ecosystem. And so whatever the decision that they're trying to make, if they merge stuff with Steam and Epic and all that, and I still can get that Xbox template, oh, we cooking. I'm good. That's the, you know what I'm saying, the interface with everything that's connected with Xbox, we're cooking. I don't have to ever, I'm cool with whatever on that end. But yeah, no, I just don't, that's just me. Richili, he's back. He says the best you upgrade you can do is display you purchase. A PlayStation Pro on a OLED TV would look better than a PlayStation 5 on a LCD TV. Right. again, you know what? That's 100% correct, Richilli. That's another thing too, where a lot of people, and that was where that misconception where people were talking about native and the resolution gate and all that, and puddle gate, which was all of that shit was stupid. All of it was stupid. All of it was stupid. I never was a part of the puddle gate. I never was a part of the resolution gate, of course, because that was more going towards Xbox. But when they started jumping on Spider-Man about resolution, about the puddle gate, I was like, that's really stupid. That's really stupid. It's just a puddle. In every game, even Wulong. In this game, you can see it. This game looked tough as hell. This game is beautiful. There's parts in Wulong that just makes me like, oh my God, this game is beautiful. And what they presented at the demo, it's a downgrade. Real talk, it's a downgrade. It's a downgrade. Still doesn't mean nothing because the game still looks and performs fantastic. So, but yeah, no, it was a downgrade. And so again, yeah, no, what the puddle didn't look the same as it did and just like when they showed Spider-Man jumping through the window in through the restaurant or whatever, that scene was never in the game. Okay, cool, whatever. It was a demo. You know what I'm saying? Did that take away from Spider-Man being a good game? It was a great game. It was a great game. It was cool. It was fun. I don't know about, I'm looking forward to playing Spider-Man 2. But I don't see a lot of people talking about Spider-Man 2. And this is what's crazy. I don't see people talking about Ragnarok as much as they talked about God of War 2018. So that also kind of tells you that PlayStation fans on the gaming front, and this is another reason why I say that PlayStation 5 has been a really disappointment when it comes to the games. I think people was looking forward to playing God of War and Spider-Man 2, but I think they missed on something, maybe too much of the same, not enough of something more interesting. And that's what I'm thinking that, because I played Ragnarok, I got it on my PlayStation 4. And I've gotten to a certain point. I gotten past Thor, I beat him. And then I got a little bit further, not too much further than that, like first couple of hours into it or whatever. But, and I was like, oh, this is dope. This is good. But it was like, this is typical Sony game. Got some really cool stuff, really cool stuff in it. But it didn't enamor me like 2018 did. 2018, I wasn't on board with it in the first place because I like the old God of Wars better. But the more and more I started playing 2018, I'm like, I'm digging it. I'm digging what they're doing. I think that it's going to be so much more of the same. Okay, my biggest point, okay, so hear me out on this. Spider-Man and Spider-Man Remastered, solid games, right? But there was a point towards Spider-Man because I did everything in Spider-Man. And I was like, I did the backpacks, I did all the missions, and then when you got to fight, you really had to fight Taskmaster at the end of that. I did all that. I did all of those missions, right? I got to the part to where I got to the DLC and I got so bored. I'm like, and I never got to the, I started the Black Hat, and I did those little missions, and then I did all of that stuff. But then when the time I got to the to the DLC, I stopped because I was like, okay, I'm burnt out. I'll get back to it. And I never got back to it. But then when I played Miles Morales, I was completely involved into that whole game. And I enjoyed that. There was so much of a difference and a variance between the two that I enjoyed Miles Morales better. But I still felt like there was a difference. I don't think that people are getting that with PlayStation games to that degree, especially with God of War, because they want to stay with the formula, which is fine. But I still feel that you should take a couple of chances here and there. I don't know. I'll find out. But I mean, I see what a lot of people say about it Ragnarok went too long, things like that or whatever. I don't know. I'll be the judge of that. But but when I was playing it, I felt that kind of feeling. And I mean, I was only 3, 4, 5 hours in. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't in the full mood for it, but we'll see. I'll be playing it here a little bit later. And Originally said, "Give me my water puddle back." Let's see. Bromane, fifth floor said Asus RTX 40 with the AMD Ryzen chip 7 4083D for the win, smiling face. Indeed. I'm listen, I have an Intel. I definitely want to go back to the AMD chip. But my Intel is great. I was pretty nervous about it. But it had to fit in my budget because I went ahead and I got and it's just like what somebody said about and I don't know if that was Chris Coleman or no, I think it was Ray Chili, yeah. Where he said it's the display. The display is the most important thing, right? You can sit here and talk about frames and everything else, but if you can't have a TV that's not going to or a monitor that's going to hit you with that's going to have enough hertz, or if you got a TV that's not going to even get you to 60, or most TVs hit 60 frames per second, but 120 frames per second, what are you complaining for? What would be the actual purpose of buying a PlayStation Pro? If you have a TV that only hits 60, and you get 4K, and that's the whole thing that I was talking about when people was talking crazy with 720p televisions, and they only had 24-inch 720p televisions. I remember I used to clown the hell out of them stands when they used to sit there and talk, man, look at this, I can see the front. Bro, I know what TV that is. That's the same type of cheap ass TV that's at my job. You know what I'm saying? That we watch when we on break. Bro, that TV is trash. What are you talking about? You see the grains of man, listen, hold up. And so again, it's what you pay for this displays. This is my first high-end monitor that I've ever bought. I love it. I'm kind of in flux of which one I want. If I want a new television, and I kind of partial to TVs. I love TVs, so I'm probably going to upgrade my TV. My Q90R is finally getting old on me, so it's like, and I think that's maybe because I'm looking at this monitor, and when I play games on this monitor, it's just like, so I'm like, So anyway, regardless, but yeah, it's all about the display, and listen, you got to pay for this stuff, man. So if you gotta, and even if you could try to play games at 4K, like that's what they was talking about with the PlayStation 4 Pro. If you only just now bought a 4K television, it don't benefit you. But I mean, it didn't play for 8K games anyway. I think that there was maybe one game that could get you to maybe 8K. It's 8K is still not hitting really big in the market right now. 4Ks is now the standard television finally after all these years. So we're looking at probably another 5-10 years before 8K will get over 50% of people getting 8K televisions. That people are waiting for those prices to go down. So, it is what it is. I don't know. Got Broman. He said, Richili said 120 hertz display are more important for frame generation. This way you can use frame implementation with a locked 40 frames per second. Interpolation. Okay. All right. You said he said I played Miles on the Plus on PlayStation 4. Loved way better than Spider-Man 1. When I beat Miles Morales, it was on my PlayStation 4. And then when those games came on PC, and at that time I didn't even have I had a 2070. I had a 2070. So, and the games still played and looked beautiful. Now, when I went through and I plan on going through and playing them heavy again on the 4080, I booted them up and looked at them like, oh my God, wow. Like, yeah, but still haven't gone through and played all the way through them with the 4080. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that's the thing to me is like when you play these games especially like I said, the single player games, and you upgrade and you feel the difference, you're winning. So, I mean, for the people who get the Pro, you're going to be winning But I just don't feel like for the price that you're winning to that degree, because it's not that much more power. You know what I'm saying? The upscaler is fantastic, but it still isn't. And I mean, and that might be at the end the game changer that once, maybe a year or two going down the line that it'll start really pumping out. But I mean, the way Sony is over here throwing out these remakes and remasters, that to me is the biggest problem. Is that if they were upgrading the games like Xbox do, and maybe if they charge you $10, I wouldn't even trip about that. I'm like, oh, Sony's going to make a little bit of change of that. But if they're going to charge you anywhere from $50 to $50 or more, that's asinine. Like, I mean, what's the purpose of buying something like that? And then you already have these games, and you're getting some better resolution, and maybe a different feature here or there. But it's not comparable to what you're paying that type of money for when you already showed your loyalty by paying $700 plus for an upgraded console. That to me, that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, I just look at it as just, nah. And that's why I went ahead and just got the PC. Because I'm like, hey, that's why I built the PC. I just like, nah, and it was just like I said earlier in the video earlier today, it's just like, this is the reason why I decided that I was going to skip out on PlayStation. Because I just felt that when the hustle was on, when people were going and these PlayStations was burning out early, they were having all those tech problems, especially when you was playing games like Demon Souls. And they were just crashing and burning out. And then you come to find out that the metal was running too hot. And I was like, oh, no. Until they make a different version, then I'll go ahead. And then they did make the different version, and they decided to raise the price $50. And I said, oh, hell no. Well, let's just go ahead and spend the extra bread and just go ahead and just get the PC, upgrade the PC. And that's what made my decision. If they didn't raise the price to $50, I still would have got me a PlayStation 5. But and I mean, I've played on a PlayStation 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like the controller a lot. I never was a fan of the PlayStation 4 controller. The PlayStation 3 controller, I never was a fan of. I was a huge fan of the PlayStation 2 controller and the PlayStation 1 controller, even though if y'all play a PlayStation 1 controller, I probably hate it. But I love the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 3 controllers. PlayStation 5 controller it's nice and big in my hand. I like it. It still is not anywhere comparable to an Xbox controller, or I should say the Elite controller. Not by a mile, but not even close. But it's still, the PlayStation 5 is a really good controller. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm comfortable with it. I'm going to cop one. When they raised the price, I was like, oh, no, I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that. And then I said, well, I know that they're going to be bringing a Pro eventually. We'll see what the pricing was. And I'm looking at this price, and I'm just like, nah, man, it just don't make any sense for me. So. And that's it. But I mean, for anybody, but I hope people that they get it, it will be everything that they want it to be. Honestly, I really do. I really honestly do. Let me go ahead and read some more of these up here. Broman said I went with Odyssey G9. So yeah, see, I got an Odyssey. I got an Odyssey. Mine's the 144 hertz. I got it on open box. I got it for, oh man, I got the G5. Got the G5. I got the G5, 144 hertz. And I got it for a really good deal. I think it was an open box at Best Buy in Dallas. Because I told the story before, I drove from Oklahoma to Dallas to the Micro Center so I could go ahead and buy the parts, and that's how I found a good deal on the 4080 and got the 4080 for $1,000 instead of the 1,500. Because I was going to give me a 4080, I mean for a 4090, but I got the monitor, and so I was like, whoop. So I was like, all right, and I got the monitor, and then which was open box. Got my warranty put on it, so I was like, if anything's wrong with it, I'll trip out. And then when I did the same thing with the 4080, seeing that it was $997, and with tax it was over $1,000. But I couldn't beat that deal. I was like, I'm gonna risk it all. I'm gonna see if this thing has been cooking and working fantastic. It was just overbox. Whatever the person, when I asked him I said, why did the person bring it back? They said because they at that time the 4090s were sold out, but then they had a new shipment of 4090s, which absolutely just there was only like 2 of them left. And so that person, when I got to the store, but regardless, I already made my decision because I got the monitor before I came. When I went to the store, so I knew that I wasn't going to get a 4090, so I said I'm going to get the 48. But anyway, I went ahead and got that, and then it kind of messed with my budget on me getting the Ryzen. And so I was like, so he talked me into getting the Intel, and I was real skeptical, but I was like, all right, man, okay. So I did it, and everything is working good. I plan on updating my chip to the highest Intel that can fit into the chip, because I forget what the latest name of it is, but I have the one lower than that. But I want to get the upgraded version of the chip, and then add me some more storage, and I'm good until probably the mid refresh of the 50 series, which is probably another 3 years from now or whatever. So that's my whole thing. But yeah, no. So yeah, you said you love the 1800 curve. Yeah, see now mine isn't curved. So, but mine is just flat. But it's still like, I forget what this is. I forget how big this thing is. Whatever the case may be, I got it for a good price. I can't remember the price actually right off the top of my head, but I got it for a good price. I couldn't pass it up, so I was like, no, I got to get this bad boy. But yeah, anyway, so that's my whole thing, and so that's what kind of got me away from like, I just won't worry about a PlayStation 5, and we'll see what happens with a PlayStation 6, how powerful that will be. I don't think that the Series X. I know that there is rumors that Xbox is going to go all out, because this is most likely the end of the Xbox console situation. We'll see if it's the end. I say that both consoles, PlayStation and Xbox, is going to bow out after this generation. I think maybe, if anything, PlayStation will stay one more generation after that. But I think, honestly, myself personally, that both will be done. I think that next generation is going to be a very, very long generation. And then people will start to understand that consoles just aren't selling like they used to. I know that a lot of people don't think so, but I don't know. Now, again, if Xbox is doing so well with their strategy, which I know a lot of people don't like their strategy and where they're going to go with their strategy. But if they do really, really well, then it's not going to matter to them if they do produce consoles going forward, which they know that they'll sell 30 to 40 million plus every time that they drop a console. So if they're selling anywhere from 30 to 40 million console units, on top of them being the market leader by having all their games shipped out everywhere else and racking up money, then the console thing is just an added feature just to satisfy Xbox core fans, pretty much. And I don't think that that's the case. I don't. I think Xbox is going to bow out, because I think Xbox wants to make one last huge purchase, and that's Steam. And I think that what they're going to do at that point is that they'll, and I won't try to steal this from Hargeet or others that said this, that that Xbox might go into a situation to where they have other vendors make or companies make consoles or PCs or something of that nature for Xbox, instead of Xbox manufacturing their own. Because again, they get Steam. They got to make sure that they got to keep the FTC and the CMA off their ass. The regulators will be on them like white on rice. So they got to make the decision to do this. And I think that's one of the part of the reasons why they're doing what they're doing, is like, look, we're putting all of our stuff out here. Again, do I like it? Hell no, I don't. But I understand the strategy if this is where they're going. It's like, look, for which is the end game for them is to buy Steam when Gabe was ready to give it up. So that's it. and I think and the whole game is going to be completely changed. So yeah, I hear that Samsung do got really good panels. I love Samsung TVs. I'm a big fan of Samsung TVs, and that's what made me go ahead and decide to get the panel. But I have heard really good things about Sony's panels. I've heard really good things about it. I had a LG, LG 1440p monitor. That bad boy clunked out on me. I've had it for about 4 or 5 years, and that bad boy clunked out on me about 2 months ago. So I'm gonna have to get. I got my smaller screen, which was my original gaming monitor. That's my third monitor in here, but I have to give me a new one. But I'm damn sure not getting LG anymore. So I'm through. I'm pretty much through with anything LG. I know there's a lot of people that love LGs. I don't have the greatest luck with them. I mean, I had a LG television, that bad boy went out. Had the LG monitor, that bad boy ran out. Clunked out. It's in my closet right now. I'm not a fan of them. I'm not a fan on them. I'm not a fan on them. Dark Optimus, what's going on? What is he saying? What is Dark Optimus saying? He's being disrespectful as usual. He said, "Hey, baby Huey looking sucker. What's up, bro?" He said these remasters are getting out of hand. Listen, man, I thought you was gonna get on here and start capping for the overlords at Sony, man, telling you that this is exactly what's happening, man. Like, this is what you want. I thought that this is what PlayStation fans wanted, was these remasters, you want greatness. They just want to repackage the greatness for you. So I thought you would be all on board. But it's good. It's good to see. It's good to see that you are that you're not on board. But and look, I see a lot of PlayStation fans on social media pissed off. They're not excited about it, but for some reason, they're going to still buy the game. I don't know. I mean, listen, I said this earlier today. If they decided to go and get, if Microsoft wanted to do a remaster of the Master Chief Collection and charge $50+, I would say kick rocks. Ain't no way I'm paying for that. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you can only run and shoot and give a punch or an uppercut to a grunt and a Covenant bastard so many times. It doesn't matter how much prettier it looks. It's still the same game. Like, so it's still the same games. And really you're getting more value because it's all of those games on top of the multiplayer with the Master Chief Collection. So it would make sense in this, I guess, to some people, but it would make sense to me to pay $50 for that. I wouldn't do it. Now, if you said it's an upgrade for $10, let's go. I'm with it. I shouldn't. I mean, you used to give it stuff for free, but I get it. Microsoft is on some new shit. Then, okay, $10 is fine enough. But I mean, I hope Sony will take care of their fan base. I doubt it, but I hope that they take care of their fan base who's already bought the game, to let them have a very minimal upgrade price. Because if you charging this at this high level, then I mean, come on, PlayStation fans, you got to do better than this. You got to do better than this. Dar, he said, that's right. You did sign the Xbox contract. Yeah. But I saw you talking about PlayStation games. I haven't seen you talk enough about Xbox games on social media, Dark. So I need you, since you did sign the contract, I still got the book right here with your signature. I need you to sit there and to help promote more Xbox games, sucker. So get your ass out there and do the job. Do the job. But anyway, but that's my whole thing about that. My last point again is just like thank you guys for coming and checking out the stream. I do want to play this again for the people out there that still thinks that the PlayStation, I played this earlier, but I'm going to play it one more time so people can get an understanding of that the PlayStation 5 Pro is not on the same equivalent as a 4070. I'm going to play this again. I hope you guys will pay attention to this. Here we go.
You want things like path tracing, or you want 60 FPS no matter what, or 120 FPS no matter what, that is not what a console is. And that's when you start looking towards PC. And then honestly, stuff like an RTX 4070 is actually like a good notch higher than the PS5 Pro, in my humble opinion, just because I feel like, yeah, like Rich just said, like it's going to be better than that 45% that Mark Cerny quoted. But it's also like, if you do turn on ray tracing, then it gets a lot better. I think we saw that in Alan Wake 2 when I compared the difference between an RTX 3080, which was better in rasterized, but the RTX 4070 had like 50% higher frame rate with path tracing stuff on. It was like nuts.
Yeah.
It was way better.
Again, let's stop talking about it. If you want a PlayStation 5 Pro, knock yourself out. Don't come in there being naive and thinking that it's comparable to a 4070. It's not. It's not comparable to the high-end AMD card that's up there that's fighting with the 40 series cards. It just don't listen to those people. They're lying to you. And if they're standing on the hill still telling you that, well, this is what listen, no. Trust me. No. Anyway. All right. The ambassador, the Xbox ambassador, the Xbox ambassadors is shutting down on the 15th of October. Not a good look. It's difficult to try to defend certain things like that. So there's no need to try to defend. If anything is difficult to try to defend, then there's no need to defend it. I mean, I when I see people that says the writing is on the wall, I kind of agreeing with them. I mean, I see where Xbox's strategy is, and like I've said before a million times, do I like it? I don't personally like it. If they went with if they do the strategy that I first was thinking that they were going to do by when Phil said case by case basis, right? Which I said if Xbox kept 20 to 30% of their games and then let everything else go, it's a wonderful strategy. It's smart as hell. You keep your core games, and for maybe some games that kind of slide on the radar that become cult classics or instant hits, like a Starfield, things like that, and keep them exclusive on Xbox PC, and you're straight. Especially when you've seen the success of Starfield, which again, they've been claiming that Starfield is coming to PlayStation. We still haven't heard anything like that. People been wrong about when they were supposed to come out. We still haven't heard anything, right? So maybe, hopefully, that Starfield is still an exception for Xbox fans. Myself, as an Xbox fan, it's what any PlayStation fan would tell me is that, look, if you want to play Stellar Blade, buy a PlayStation or wait for it to come to PC or however. It's the same thing that when you talk about Starfield, right? But we'll see. But if Xbox is going to be a thought for the streets with all the games, then this is one of these moves right here that kind of says, well, I don't know. Their direction is changing. And I don't know, man. It doesn't look very good. It doesn't look very good for the sense of for people who are Xbox fans that are all about the Xbox console. I've told you guys many of times since I've seen this back in February, where I told you that it was such a bad time for me at that point for everything that was happening, that I seen Xbox's direction, and it's not a good one, because when you hear in the hi-firush, which I've advocated for, of that, even arguing with fellas on GRG was basically like, look, this is a game that should be nominated for Game of the Year. It's that good. And then they just go out there and push this game out, and then this game doesn't sell. And then they just let this game go, and then they give it to Crafton, which now we understand why. Sometimes we all are reactionary because we're all about the right now, but now coming to look at it is that this game didn't sell anywhere. It's not on game. It was, like I said earlier at the beginning of the podcast or the stream, was that if it wasn't for Game Pass, I don't think anybody would be talking about this game except for a few people, because this game wouldn't have sold worth a damn anywhere. It didn't sell on PlayStation. It didn't sell on PC. It didn't sell on Nintendo. It didn't sell well on Xbox. So Game Pass is the thing that brought light and attention to it. Over 3 million gamers played it. 3 to 4 million? So it did do its job. It's just that the people didn't buy it. So, and that's unfortunate. But regardless of that, if Xbox is making these decisions, and I see like, okay, because one of the games that, I love the hell out of Hellblade 2. I think it's a Game of the Year nominee, just like I feel like it should be, just like Wulong, Black Myth should be a nominee so far. I haven't played Warhammer yet. I'm going to play it tomorrow night. So I'll be streaming it. So it'll be my first time playing it. I'm hearing really good things about that or whatever. And in Astrobot, I'm hearing really good things about Astrobot. Astrobot looks fun. But if Hellblade is the next, because that seems to me to be the next game that would be on the chopping block to go to PlayStation, I'm not gonna like it. I'm not gonna like it one damn bit whatsoever. I'm gonna be pissed. I'm not gonna like it. And for the gamer in me, having PlayStation fans and Nintendo fans or whoever that's going to get a chance to get to play it, no, I want them to benefit from it because the game is fantastic. It's the fact that you would hear the stands that dog this game talk so bad about it, that just like they do with Starfield, that just disrespects it. And then they get a chance to sit there and brag, look, we can do this, we can do that, knowing that they're not going to buy it. We've already seen how their numbers are with the games that they're, hell, we've seen what Square Enix has just told everybody. Listen, the PlayStation exclusive era with Final Fantasy is over, is cooked. You PlayStation stands out there has failed the Final Fantasy community out there by keeping that game exclusive. It's for the streets, regardless. But it's just the fact to me is that we see how PlayStation is playing hardball. And Xbox is not playing hardball. Doesn't look like it. And if they go ahead and you're taking away the ambassadors, which, I mean, listen, as me being an ambassador, and there's different ways of how ambassadors work, stuff like that. It just seems like for them to cut them off, it's basically like they're taking another path, and that path is away from the console. And I just think that if they're making all this money doing this, then I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. I hope that I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. I think that the opportunity for for Xbox to become the market leader, which I still think that they could be the market leader regardless. I've said this, and it's looking like it's about to happen. Maybe sooner than what I predicted, where they're going to be the market leader without selling the most consoles. They don't have to sell the most consoles because consoles is becoming more and more irrelevant. As you can look and see, there's 61 million consoles, yes, for PlayStation, but compare that to where PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4 was at that time. And do anybody think that PlayStation 5 is going to catch the PlayStation 4? I don't see it. Now, if it stays until 2028, there's a possibility. But if those prices don't go down, then the PlayStation 5s ain't going to be moving. Not at that level. It's just not. So I don't know. Yeah. So I just think when you take away the ambassadors, if they're not going to redirect something else, I just think that they might be looking at like, listen, there's no reason to be talking about doing the ambassador program if you don't have an Xbox to be worrying about it to that degree. Or and if they change something and implement something else, that's a possibility, but I don't know. I need to go into the Discord, to the ambassador's Discord, and look and see what's going on in there, and see if there's any chaos. If I see the chaos in there, then I know better. Then I know the situation is going to be cooked. It's going to be cooking. So, hey, Big Bamo, you disrespectful. He sit there and said Astro. Now listen, there are those rumors that Astro. I was going to say Astroflop. I don't mean to be. Astrobot has not sold well. Well, it sold in Japan because it's number 2 in Japan again. And I think altogether it sold to what, like 21,000, 22,000 copies in Japan. Okay. That's not very impressive, but I mean, again, Japan is not America. So again, I want to see what Astrobot has done overall. And again, listen, Astrobot is coming. PlayStation is kind of doing weird shit too, because Astrobot should not be dropping behind NBA 2K or anywhere near NBA 2K and FIFA. In between that, they shouldn't be. And then, of course, a lot of people are excited. A lot of people are having a good time with Warhammer. So I get that. Warhammer is and I know that Astrobot is a completely different game, but more people buy NBA 2K around this time on PlayStation and Xbox. And it's crazy that Warhammer is doing really, really well, but I don't think let's just say that this was Psychonauts 2 from Xbox dropping right after NBA 2K. No, it wouldn't sell well. That's why it came out before. It came in between. Remember, it dropped right in between Madden and NBA 2K. So you had some time to go get it. When them checks hit, you could get it at the end check, and then you and then of course Game Pass was a good factor as well. But nah, I just think that's a tough place to put that game at. I really do. I think it is. Curie, you're saying that they're trying to spin it? Oh man. So Cygnus is saying, let's see, what's up to say? He said Silent Hill 2 remake will not be available on other formats than PlayStation and PC until 2025. Okay, I don't think. Do you think, Cygnus? Do you really think that game is going to do well? Do you really think that Silent Hill 2 is going to sell well? I don't. I don't see it. I don't see it whatsoever. I honestly don't think that game is going to sell worth a damn. I don't. And that's not me being disrespectful. I'm trying to say I just don't see. Man, look, the graphic horrors that PlayStation gamers are, that game did not look very impressive. And I'm pretty sure that, they make good games. I mean, listen, they're not, that studio, Blooper is not a bad studio. But I don't understand why that game didn't get enough funding to boost those graphics up a little bit. I mean, and the reason why I say that, when you look at a game like Alan Wake 2, and then you look at Silent Hill 2, bruh, I don't know. I don't think that thing is good. Astrobot said, I'll say Astrobot. Dark Optimist said Astrobot hasn't sold well because those damn so-called fans. That's it. I mean, that's the truth. There's so many people that brag and talk about these games, and they don't represent them. I mean, listen, I'm calling out even Xbox gamers on this one. Hi-Firush should have sold. Once it's really kicked out that this game was going to be had a potential to be a nominee for Game of the Year, you had all these people talk about it. We had all these people talk about it. All these Xbox gamers talk about it. And they didn't even support. Hell, it was embarrassing to see that there were stands out there showing that the game that most people didn't even get they talked about it, but they didn't even get past 2-3% of the game. That shit's embarrassing. How'd you shit if you're going to sit there and don't talk about these games if you're not going to play them? Now, listen, do I beat every game that I talk about? Absolutely not. Now, if I talk about a game heavily, that game is beat. Matter of fact, you're going to see many hours on those games. But if they talk about one game, for instance, let's say the gameplay that you see of Test Drive, the new Test Drive, am I going to put hundreds and hundreds of hours? No, probably not. But you'll see me at least put 10, 20, 30 hours into it. So I mean, it's not. Listen, I'm not going to beat everything, but I'm damn sure going to put time into them. And so if I'm putting enough time but not even getting 2-3%, that ain't putting enough time in it, Jack, because you can get a couple of achievements right off the bat in the game. So that shit's embarrassing, and I hate that. I hate that. But yeah, no, the PlayStation community, they have been letting PlayStation developers down because y'all ain't been buying. Y'all ain't been buying shit. Now, I mean, listen, Stellar Blade. I don't know what the overall numbers are going to be. I think what it sell 3 million, 3 million, 3 million. I don't know, somewhere around there. That still isn't good enough. Listen, I remember when people were talking bad about what Xbox was getting dog walked. Xbox One was getting dog walked when it came to sales with the PlayStation compared to the PlayStation 4. And when a game like Sunset Overdrive and Quantum Break sold 2 million, 3 million, oh, that's trash. That's no good. When Rise sold what? 1 million, 2 million debut, whatever. Oh, that's trash. That's trash because PlayStation gamers at the time, Stance could sit there and brag, oh, this sold 8, 7, 6, 12 million right off the bat. That shit is, y'all ain't buying nothing this generation. Oh, y'all barely sit there and got a PlayStation. I mean, Spider-Man 2 looking solid. It took y'all until the holidays. Until after Christmas, before that game looked like it was selling. So, well, I take that back. It took what? It took what? About almost a little bit over a month and a half before those sales started looking decent, and that's after a Black Friday sale. Come on now, what y'all talking about? Them numbers didn't look solid at all that first week, those first 2 weeks. God of War is the only game that kicked ass. God of War Ragnarok was the only game for PlayStation that kicked ass in this generation. You got to correct me if I'm wrong, but God of War was the only game that was a PlayStation first party that really that looked like PlayStation 4 numbers. You got to correct me if you say I'm wrong. Come on now, but I don't think I am. You know what I'm saying? Curie, you're absolutely right. Backlog is nutty. Backlog is up. It depends on and Cygnus is saying depends on if the release of Silent Hill 2 is Halloween week. I just listen. Do you know what's coming on Halloween week? Do you know what's coming out on Halloween week? Call of Duty. Hold on. I'm gonna type it up. I'm gonna just. Well, I can type it up. Hold on. That's good. Let's see. All right, let's look at this list. Okay. All right, let's see. It's kind of weird looking. Okay, hold on. Here we go. All right. So let's look. Metaphor drops around that time. Silent Hill 2 is dropping on the 6th. Metaphor drops on the 11th. Undisputed drops on the 11th. That's the boxing game. There's going to be people that's going to get that. That's a solid boxing game, by the way. Life is Strange is dropping on the 15th. There's going to be people that's going to drop that. That's going to be excited about that. Let's see. I don't know how many people are going to be interested in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutants Unleashed. I'm not going to count that one. Romance and Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven. That's going to sell something. That's on the 24th of October. Sonic X and Shadow Generations. I don't know. I couldn't tell you when's the last time I bought a Sonic game. I know when the last time I bought it was the 3D Sonic game a few years back. That was the last one. But there's some Sonic fans. Everborn, he's a big Sonic fan, so I know that there's some out there. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is on the 25th of October. Bruh, come on now. And I understand it is coming out earlier, but man, people are going to be saving their chips for that game, especially plus Metaphor Hold on, there's more. Let's see. Now I don't know. It looks interesting, but I need to see more gameplay of it. But Unknown 9 Awakening, that's dropping on the 18th. Oh, that's on the Switch though. I wish Evernights came on the Xbox. Evernights is dope. Let's see. Not like how this list is, but anyway, how this list is dropped. I don't know. It's a free to play, but well, I don't know. I don't think it is a free to play. It might be a free to play. I don't know. Thrones and Liberty. That looks pretty good for those type of. It's an MMO. It looks pretty good. I'm not going to say that's going to but it's a competition. I think that there's a crowd for that. Don't know how big a crowd that. Oh, Diablo, the Vessel of Hatred. That's gonna cook, bro. I forgot about that myself. Damn it. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, bro. Come on now. That's on the 11th. There's a Mario Party game that's coming out. So that's on the 17th. I'm not interested, but I'm sure that there'll be plenty of people that will be. So I guess that's all that I. Oh well, no, because this list don't even show. Hold on, man. Let me back out of this because it didn't even show Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed is going to be one of those games that's going to be coming through. That's going to be coming out. I don't know. That list is garbage. Come on, let me see. Trying to find a better list. All right, yeah, let's go through Game Rant. That's September. Damn, there's a lot of games in September. Good grief. Okay, October. Here we go. So far, not anything that's caught my attention for me to say, unless anybody's excited for SpongeBob SquarePants. Okay, so October 4th, Sword Art Online, Fractured Daydreams. That has a base. That has a base. Let's see. I've never played an RPG Maker. A lot of people enjoy them, but I never played one, so I don't know if that's going to do anything. You're going to crack up, but I mean, there's people that they keep making them, so people keep buying them. That's them Just Dance 2025 edition. Hey, people gonna buy that. So just saying. Blazing Strike. I don't even know what that is. That sounds like a fighting game. That might be like one of those shooter like playing games or sounds like a fighter. Anyway, like the Super Mario Party Jamboree. There's another Hot Wheels game coming. I don't know if that's gonna be in the contention of going against what's called it, but anyway. Neon Blood. I don't think that's going to be anything like that. I don't know, but okay. Romance of the Three Kingdoms, a remake. I don't know. I do think that Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven. I think that's going to get some attention. There's the Sonic game that I was talking about earlier. The Life is Strange. You also will have, and I don't know why neither one of them have what's called because that comes out the 11th, Assassin's Creed. So I don't know if how accurate is all these. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't see Assassin's Creed on any of these lists. And Assassin's Creed is coming out the 11th, unless there was something that said, oh yeah, and you said see Zelda, and they don't even have Zelda in here either. So I don't know and this is from Game Rant, and the other, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. What's going on, game? What's happening? Anyway, regardless, Assassin's Creed is on the 11th. The Zelda game, I don't know what date that is because they didn't say it. Yeah. And like I said, like the Sworded Art Online. So Sparking Zero, Call of Duty. You got the Mario game, and then there's other games that's in that list, and maybe there's some games that wasn't. Of course, there's some games on that list, but and also I think, and I was wrong. I thought that Until Dawn was coming out at this month, but it's coming out next month. So you got Until Dawn, the remake or remaster, coming out, and then you're going to have Silent Hill 2 in the month of October too, bro. I think it's cooked. I really do. I think it's in trouble. I honestly think that it's in trouble. So yeah. So and then again, the Thrones of Liberty looks really good, and Unknown 9 looks good. Game Pass is going to be, and then of course, like I said, Metaphor is coming as well. So like that's what I'm saying. Like I know that I'm getting Assassin's Creed. I'm buying Assassin's Creed. I'm buying. I've already paid for Call of Duty, so I'm good on that. Assassin's Creed, Sparking Zero, and then there's Metaphor, and then I'm over here like, golly, man, like my mouth is watering because I want to, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking. There's still a couple other games. Like I like SAO as well, but I mean, I can wait on SAO, but I can't wait on Metaphor. Like I mean, I'm really looking at this and I'm like, damn. So yeah, no, Silent Hill is cooked. I think Silent Hill is cooked for people. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that it has a chance. And then you got again. Curie, it's nuts. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're looking at this and it's an economy, higher price tags, and a black hole of games. And I forgot. I was just gonna say, it just came across my head. Dragon Age is coming as well. That's what I was thinking about, like, because that's why I'm over here saying, damn, I want Metaphor, but see, this is probably what I'll do, because I do have the EA, the EA Pro, so I might just go ahead and not just wait to buy Dragon Age later and just go through EA Pro. So that's probably that. Matter of fact, I think that's what I will do, because I mean there's no question that Assassin's Creed is getting got. There's no question that Sparking Zero is getting got. I already got Call of Duty, and I want Metaphor. You know what I'm saying, and I'm like, oh, and right after that, like I mean, hell, November you got Stalker 2, you got other games coming out in November, and then December and listen, I'm cool with Indiana Jones. I'm gonna play it. It looks fun. Am I and then at the end of this month, I mean, you got Starfield's DLC. I bet, bro, ain't no time. Especially with the stuff that I have with the First Descendant. I got Warhammer that I haven't even started yet. I got. I'm definitely going to do another playthrough of Wukong, just because I just want to see how badass I am now. I want to see if I'm still going to get shellacked like I was to certain bosses, or am I going to go in there and start beating ass? So I don't know, because I'm going to stream that, and I'm going to stream me playing Warhammer. But yeah, no, man, I don't know. It's just so much there. And we're talking about like Assassin's Creed is going to be a 100+ game. Metaphor is going to be a 100-hour+ game. Shattered Dimensions or Shattered Spaces or whatever, the DLC for Starfield, that's going to be nuts. I said I was going to hit every planet. I didn't even hit a fraction of those planets and still have over almost 400 hours in that game. So, yeah, man, not enough time. And then First Descendant, I love First Descendant, man. So it's crazy. And then Call of Duty, I'm going to give my time in on Call of Duty. So that's the one reason why I did not get NBA 2K day one like I normally do. Hell, I've only played Madden and just to see what it looked like and how it played. I haven't played any full games in Madden yet. College football, that's a whole different story. Matter of fact, here later on, before I do fight night, I got an online match with a team with a person in our league. I got to play because I had to be forced to play with Miami. Well, I picked Miami because somebody took my Sooners and then they took the OSU Cowboys, and so I was like, all right, man, let me just go ahead and pick the Miami Hurricanes, which has actually not been a bad choice, but I mean, trying to learn how to play them. But anyway, I got to play that person tonight before I do fight night. So there's just so much out there to play. And I just, listen, I don't necessarily anybody complaining about anything. Listen, as long as Xbox keeps providing these games, I'm happy. The strategy, again, is wild. I don't think that anybody is, I don't think, we all don't know what Xbox full strategy is. We got an assumption. And I think that part right there, it can give some hope that that Phil and them might sit there and say, look, this game should stay. This game should stay. That game should stay. Case by case basis. I know that a lot of people don't believe it, but I still feel that there's a possibility that they can. Will they? I don't know. I can't call it. I don't know. I have no damn clue. Only thing I know is that it's different. Everything is different. Nothing is the same. This has been a wild generation, and I don't think it's going to get any less wild. I think it's going to just be ridiculously wild. So I don't know, guys. I really, 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 really don't. Yeah, I'll play Stalker 2. Yeah, I'll definitely. I will play Stalker 2. But I'm going to play Dragon Age. I have been hyped on that since they've talked about it after me beating Dragon Age Inquisition and all the DLCs. And I mean, I've beaten I beat the first Dragon Age. I did not beat the second Dragon Age, but I did beat the first Dragon Age. Didn't beat 2, and I played. I don't know how much I played of Origins. I need to, I'll go back and check those out later on. But Inquisition, I did that in all the DLCs. I did. I beat the first one, and then I got, I think, halfway, a little bit over half in the second one, but I didn't finish it. And then in Origins, I didn't play that much of Origins either. So, or maybe that was, I don't know. I can't remember. When you get to the older ones, I kind of get lost because there was so far of a gap. And then when I played Inquisition, I bought Inquisition day one, and then went to and then didn't play it actually go all the way through it until like towards the end of the generation. Matter of fact, I think I didn't play. I didn't beat Inquisition until I got my Xbox One X, or is when I first got the Series X. It was one of that, and then I went through and beat everything, all the DLCs and everything like that. And that story, my God, man, I got to find out the conclusion of this, man. That damn elf has got to pay for his crimes. Elf has got to, hey man, he was the homie. Bro, he was my ace. What are you doing? Anyway, but Dragon Age Inquisition is definitely a must play. It's not going to be a must buy for me at the time because I'm really, really wanting to get Metaphor. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. We'll definitely see how it plays out. Shattered Spaces. Thank you, Yobi. Thank you, Shark, too, as well. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right, Curie. Gishin is coming to Xbox in November 10th, November 9th, November 10th. So yeah, and it's like, I think the starting pack is like only $10. So there's just a lot. October is nuts. November is going to be nuts. December is going to have Indiana Jones. I'm sure, I know that there's going to be something else there, but and then we jump into January and February, and then at that point, then they're bringing more fighters. I'm here on the 24th. I'm finna get the Mortal Kombat DLC. So got to go through that. So, you know what I'm saying? And, so that, and tonight, that's what I'm saying. I don't even know what I'm going to play because I haven't played any fighting games in a few months. So, you know what I'm saying? So whatever I'm going to jump into, I'm probably going to get my head beat in, but that's okay. It's all right. I definitely will show some Marvel vs. Capcom. So if I was to show some Marvel vs. Capcom collection, I'm damn sure going to get my head beat. But we'll be doing that. We'll be doing that. But anyway, guys, I better get on out of here, man. This was a really great, fun conversation. Carrie said she's grabbing the pack. Just saw Sarah on Xbox. That was worth it since since you spent a lot of time on Gitch. It's just so much to play because listen, I liked Gishin. I played it. I was playing it on my PC, and put a little bit of time in there because I was playing between that and Lost. Oh my goodness, Lost. Well, I can't think of oh my goodness. I don't know what the hell that game's name is right now. Hold on, let me look. Lost Ark. I was playing Lost Ark and Gishin, and I've seen how much I really like Lost Ark. And I haven't played Lost Ark in over a year right now. It's been about a year, a little bit over a year. Just been playing so many other games, but I need to get back on Lost Ark. Lost Ark is really, really good. But yeah, and I was playing between those, and then I got lost into something else, and it's just what it is. It's just what it is, man. It's just so much to play, but that's the beauty of it. There's so many great games to play. And then even if the games are not super fantastic, if there are games to catch my attention, like I'm a fan of racers. This is gameplay from Test Drive, from the new Test Drive. I would tell people, I would recommend if you're interested in it, I would say wait for a sale. Don't jump on it immediately. I got it for $27, the $27 version. I'll wait for for the sale for the DLC or whatever, or if I can earn the cars or whatever, I'll just go ahead and do that. But I would recommend to do that, to wait for that if you're interested in that. And I feel I feel Motorfest is a better racer so far from what I play. Now I haven't gotten in full depth with Test Drive, but I still feel that Motorfest is the better of the two. Of course, and it's funny because of how Forza, and I said this earlier, how Forza has kind of set the standard of how racing games are supposed to be, because this is kind of like a hybrid of, it's got a Need for Speed, Forza Horizon type of vibe to it. It's not bad. It's not bad at all, but it's not worth the $90. I mean, I didn't pay the $90. Like I said, I got it for $27. But yeah, no, I would wait. And I heard that the $90 version, when you first got it, it had a lot of issues, but it's playing fine now. I think I had one hiccup the other night. It booted me out, and then it lost my save, and so I had to re-verify it, and then I came back just maybe about 15 minutes before where I was at, but that wasn't no sweat. But other than that, like it's been playing fine after that. So yeah. But anyway, I'm rambling now. But anyway, thank you guys for coming through. I really, 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 really do appreciate it. Thank you guys. I'll be doing Fight Night later on tonight. I've been really busy today with my streaming, right? So we'll be playing some fighters. Finally, I am finally back to start setting things at a timeline. So hope you guys join me when I come through and I do my thing, man. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.